Huge news out of China, some of it true. We're going to get into that. We've got rumors on Megapack, we've got rumors on delivery, we've got rumors on Cybertruck and all that good stuff. And we're going to find out what's real based on what we know. Spoiler alert, I think it's all real, but we'll find out. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. I got Herbert joining me here, as he so graciously does. I appreciate you coming around. Yeah, to so many of you out there, you never call, you never write. I had a gentleman say, wait, are comments still mandatory? Because I'm leaving one. And I said, they're optional, but yours was mandatory. I thank you. Guys, I'm getting hammered by the crypto spammers and scammers. Yeah, if anyone out there is a regular and would like me to add you as a moderator because you keep seeing them so you can boop the comments even faster than I can. Hundreds and hundreds a day. Very frustrating. Hey, have you heard the news? Tesla denies Cybertruck sale rumors for January. Yeah, this is, I mean, should we worry when the Cybertruck comes to China? And yeah, a spokesperson from Tesla China clarified rumors suggesting it will begin on January 1st are false. They will now. I mean, let's get semantic. I just told you they wouldn't be on January 1st. Does that mean they could be on January 2nd?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we've heard that they have gotten approval, right?
Yes.
What was that word that you had said last time?
Homologation.
Homologation, which is a technical registration word, right?
Yeah, it just means they've gone through all the insurance. Yeah, they've gone through all of it. They got their efficiency, their watt hours per kilometer efficiency sticker for the window. And that's one of the last steps to permitting the sale of a vehicle.
So, and then I asked you before, when you get that, how long does it take before you decide to go and make it available for sale, right? I mean, it's obviously just a matter of getting inventory. They would have it imported, don't they?
Yes, for sure. So the question is, would we see them out at the port? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think we would not see them go out. I think the quantity would be sufficiently low that we just wouldn't notice it. And that
I think now that they got licensing, they probably will need to accumulate them, because imagine the demand from China as soon as they say that this is available. What's your thinking? Foundation series?
I think Foundation series has been cleared out enough that there's none left. They might make some new ones. We saw some very silly rumors that they were just buffing off the laser etching while ignoring the fact that you can't change the VIN number and the VIN says Foundation. Fine, terrible reporting. But there's people who like to start rumors. There are people who address FUD and there are people who generate it. I'm glad to be on this side of the fence with you, Herbert. I appreciate that.
What do you think, Brian? Like, you know how we've heard a few times now from various Tesla executives that when they launch something in China, they want it to be specific for the Chinese audience. Is there going to be changes to the truck to make it much more Chinese?
I don't think so. The Model S and X did well for years. When the Model 3 came out, it wasn't different. There were rumors that it would be, that maybe they might have a stretched wheelbase for executive town car kind of uses, but we never saw that. No, I think it will go just as is, and I expect it. Really, I expect it in the first quarter. So when they say it's not coming January 1st, that doesn't mean it's not coming January 10th or 24th or whatever. I think it is coming imminently because they've got the permit to sell it. I think the only holdup is they want the support to be there. They want to make sure that at least the major service hubs, Shanghai, Beijing, other ones are ready for it. And we saw the same thing with the rollout here. They prioritize Texas deliveries first because we're right next to the birthplace of the vehicle where the engineers actually know how to do it. And if there's any weird questions, we can just send an engineer over to address it. So I'm not super worried about that. I think we'll be fine. I think they will be selling them and soon and at a fantastic margin. And I cannot imagine the sticker price in China, but it's going to be between the import costs and the shipping. It's going to be.
They won't have a problem. It's going to be the demand is so high. It's going to be like, I don't know. What's your guess? 10,000?
10,000 units?
Yeah.
I think that's a good guess. I I don't know. It's tough to say because uh, once you get to 10,000, do you know how many dollars you're talking about?
Mhm.
Just in margin. Hey, updated Tesla Model Y reportedly slated to start production in a couple days, in a day or two. Do you think that this timeline is correct?
I do. I do. So we've seen quite a number of reports, not just rumors, right? These are reports from Chinese news that are saying that they've interviewed people and they're saying that the Model Y is actually in production now. At first, we heard 200 cars per day. Now we're hearing 600 cars per day being made already. And obviously we're seeing so many sightings, right, of this. That's always kind of like one of the lead ups, and it makes sense that they're going to do this this quarter, that they're going to make the rollover. So I do think it's as accurate. It's more likely to be accurate than it is to not be accurate.
What do you think of this? We heard this rumor, and it was reported by Reuters, who has an
Uh,
absolutely checkered past when it comes to Tesla's leak authenticity. Reuters, of course, the one who said Giga Mexico City is happening, and they're
mhm.
going to fly the cars out because if you have a brand new head, that's the sort of thing you might say. But the 6-seat Model Y, do you think that's a thing that they're going to build at all?
I have no idea that one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a weird one. I don't understand. Now here we go. The facelifted Model Y will receive updates similar to the Highland.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be anything that we did not see from the Highland?
Oh, interesting. I don't think so.
I
So
don't think so either.
I would lean towards the goal for the Model Y facelift, this new Juniper, is to refresh it, right? And in Model 3, they had 50% of all the parts were redone. And so what you're going to want to do is, right, is reuse those same parts, same suppliers. Then you have incredible volume, reduces costs, increases margins, and the Model 3 or Highland is a huge success. It's just been I have one myself. It's just a fantastic car. So it's already proven. So I don't think that they're going to try to do anything new like they did with the Cybertruck. It increases risk on your best-selling vehicle. I just will hope they just refresh it to make it look amazing, right? The look, and add new features that they already have implemented. I don't think this is the time to experiment and add something that they haven't done before. But I mean, if they might
Yeah.
want to pull in something from the Cybertruck, then that I wouldn't be shocked if they did a few things there.
Like what? Because I would be. Parts commonality is a big deal. People say, well, 48 volt, it's time. I say, is it? Is it? Because then you're going to need to do it to the Model 3. And they said, well, they'll just do it to the Model 3. Look, they
Yeah.
didn't do it to the S and X, and I believe they very much wanted to at the time.
Mhm.
Getting the entire supply chain to switch over to the other voltage is a task so great that despite efforts to do it dating back to the 1970s, it's never happened. So I don't know. I think we're going to get a great vehicle. If you guys have driven a Model 3 or Y and you weren't impressed with the ride, you need to get a ride in the Model 3 refresh, the Highland, the new one. It is so refined. Going over a speed bump in that little Model
Oh,
3
I love it.
feels,
Yeah.
in a performance
Yeah.
model, feels better than in a long range Y with the
Yeah.
with the cushiest tires. It's just a wonderful machine. And to think, Herbert, these amazing cars will never be worse than they are today.
Yeah.
This
It's
is,
going to keep
I mean,
getting better. And they're
we
already
are,
so good.
yeah,
Yep.
just in the beginning. So if we're going to talk Reuters, I guess we have to actually show this one. Now, I don't generally link Reuters directly because they have a paywall, and I believe that that's terrible. But they
Yeah.
license their content to Yahoo, so great.
But
Tesla
this one's
Shanghai,
real. This one's true
right?
because it's an
Oh
actual
yeah, yeah.
announcement from Tesla China themselves.
Yes, yes, it is. When it comes to those things, I will trust them. Uh, any story I see, if it only has one source, I will try to let the audience know because I don't trust those. Tesla Shanghai Energy Storage Gigafactory begins trial production. I know you and I had a show where we talked about this quite a bit. What's going on here?
Yeah. So Tesla China announced that they have received, I guess, approval from the regulatory bodies that they needed to in December 27th. So that they passed, and that they're now actually in production, trial production now, and they're going to be in mass production by next year, early next year. So this is their announcement. I think they said that it got done within 7 months of since starting. So again, just right on time, right before the end of the year. And the most important thing was getting for the licensing to get started.
That is all correct, as I understand it as well. We've got this bit of the story here, which is, breaking ground on this is the groundbreaking, which was just 7 months ago. Now, the neat thing is the cost of the plant, I don't know if you heard, is $200 million.
That's it.
That's it for a factory that can make, this says 10,000 megapacks. I'm going to guess it's significantly more. I'm going to guess it's double.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the cost for the factory will be covered in definitely the first year. What's less known is the payout timeline on Megapacks in China, in markets outside the US. Do they have the same tranches for payouts where it's shipment, installation, final electrification? I don't know. I haven't seen that. I imagine it's comparable everywhere, but I imagine in China they get their final certificates more quickly. So yeah, all that's great. And the last bit of
before you move on to that, though,
yes, sir.
The question I wanted to ask you, right, is like, so now that they've officially in production, you got the Giga Shanghai, you got the Megapack factory in Shanghai, you got the Megapack factory in Lathrop. Lathrop is already at full scale. This one's starting now. They're going to announce one. They're going to announce the next one. I will make that prediction. It's going to happen soon. It's going to happen within a month.
Okay. And here, I will tell you why I think you may be correct.
Okay.
Right. No. Hey, if you want me to argue, I can argue. Here's why I think you're probably correct, is the bottleneck on something that consumes tens of gigawatt hours of cells is cells. Where on earth are you going to get the cells from? And the answer is China. You're going to get them from China because China has a surplus, especially of LFP batteries. Manufacturers are outside of China still don't want to put those in their vehicles because they're not sufficiently energy dense. They end up with a vehicle that's too heavy. You look at something like the MG Cybertruck. It's a cool little 2-door, 2-seat convertible that weighs 4,800 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And it's because they're using LFP batteries. So if you've got all these LFP batteries and companies outside of China don't want to put them in cars, what are you going to put them in? The answer could be stationary storage. That's what Tesla uses. That's what BYD, LG,
the
all
demand
of them
is too high.
The demand
every
is too
country
high.
needs it locally. And so I think that it's not just going to be one announcement, it's going to be two. And the reason is, and I'm saying two now, like not 6 months from now, two in the first quarter. And the reason is they have already been, there's been countries that have been begging them. The demand is so high. It's just really up to Tesla to decide when. And they've gotten the experience now. They know how to build these things.
And I'll tell you where to look for. The first part of the answer is, does any country have their own high volume LFP manufacturing facilities? And right now the answer is no. So the next part of the question is, who allows importation of those LFP cells without prohibitive tariffs? And those are the two paths of least resistance to look for. I think the UK would probably this would be their chance to get back in the game if they've got some kind of policy that would allow for the importation of those cells. But even then, you got to export them out. I'm just not sure. Where do you think it would go? Where do you think those two factories are going?
So one, I think, is got to be Europe, just like you said,
of course.
Right? So number one, remember he made those 2 years ago. He went around, shook everybody's hands. And we found out that 9 out of the 10 people, the top executive or top dignitaries that he shook hands with, the only one that he didn't was Japan. But they were all the top 10 largest economies that need the most, power consumption.
Sure.
So, and power generation. And so they all will need it. So I think one's going to be, and it needs to be, like we were saying, it's not something that you can just ship out and it, to send on a ship. It's so expensive. So it needs to be local. So I think one in Europe. And then the other one, I wouldn't be surprised if the second one was still in China. Just because now they built one, they want another one, and they're going to keep making many of there. Or another one in the US, right? Yeah.
So I don't see the next one coming to China because there is a saturation point, and sure, today's addressable market is infinite. But if you run through it, It's Jordan Gieseke explained the reason mines don't double and triple the capacity is because all that does is double and triple your cost while not increasing the total lifetime output of the facility. And I think that having the factory anywhere means you're still going to be shipping the cells
That's a
there.
good
You
point.
still got the weight
Yeah,
going
good
out.
point. Remember, I've forgotten that the Megapack factory in Shanghai can be bigger than we think. So they start with 10,000. They can add another 10,000. They can add another one if they needed to later.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. You're right.
And
Good
also
point.
worth noting out, because I do get folks in the comments who love to, you know, when you demand comments, you have to accept that some of the comments are going to be nitpicking. The UK is only geographically in Europe. It's not legally in Europe. They've departed Europe. And they've you know, ever since the crown gave up the empire, they have lived in banishment on an island. So that is
Elon seems to be communicating quite a bit with the Italian prime minister. So something's happening there.
That might be recreational. Guys, yeah, we got one last one to cover here. You know, hey, so we've got the big numbers here. This is the what we're looking at for the quarter. We got, I thought last week of the quarter was going to be the weakest. I thought we were going to see downtime for switching over to Juniper, and it doesn't appear that we did. That's a great week. How'd they pull that off?
Yeah, 18. What is it? 18,000.
Yeah. Well,
this that's
18,400. Here we go.
Yeah,
right there. That is a great week.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then there's still 2 more days to go, the 30th and 31st. So we'll see what happens there. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be around 22,000 for the last week plus 2 more days to it. They did very well, and I think we had seen rumors. I think it's just rumors, not confirmed, that they sold out the Model Y already, the existing Model Y, and we're hearing rumors that they're building the new Juniper already now. So you and I talked about it, and it seems so far, if all these rumors turn out to be true, that it's an actually beautifully seamless transition to the new Juniper. But at the end of the day, huge success. They sold as many cars as they could. I think you and I also talked about, though, that there could be some issues because apparently the taxation software that they're using, not just Tesla, like all the car in Europe or China, has been having some bugs. And that's again rumors. I don't know how big of an impact this is, but some people are saying that I'm trying to close my deal. I want to get my car, but I can't until this software is refreshed or changed, updated.
I think it's all going to be interesting. And the good news is we can count mere hours until the quarter's over. And by the time this is out, it will be over. How did it go? You guys are in 2025. What's going on there? Report to us, please, from the future. We demand it. Hey, do me a favor. Head over to Brighter with Herbert. See what he's up to. He's always got some fantastic guests. And he is back from vacation and recharged and rearing to go. And in case you hadn't heard, I am going to be going down to Texas for the Starship 7 test launch. I'll be in a boat in the harbor looking on with awe and amazement. So I'll be there the 9th through the 12th. If you're going to be in the area, let me know. Maybe we can connect. And everybody else, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you wouldn't mind, and stay tuned and juicy. I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots from, the launch pad, I suppose.